Hi everyone, and welcome to BitLearn. I'm really excited because this is the very first video on this channel. If you've ever wondered how your passwords, bank details, or personal information stay safe while browsing the internet, this video is for you. Today, we'll understand how HTTPS works, what SSL TLS is, and how your browser creates a secure connection with a website. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what happens behind that little padlock icon in your browser. So let's get started. Before we understand HTTPS, let's first understand the problem it solves. HTTP sends data over the internet as plain text. Think of it like sending a postcard through the mail. Anyone who handles that postcard can read what's written on it. The internet works in a very similar way. When your browser sends a request, it doesn't travel directly to the server. Instead, it passes through Wi-Fi routers, internet service providers, network devices, and many intermediate systems before reaching its destination. If someone intercepts that communication, they can read everything being transmitted. That could include usernames, passwords, messages, or other sensitive information. Clearly, this isn't safe. So how do we protect our data? This is where HTTPS comes in. Instead of sending readable text, HTTPS encrypts your data before it leaves your browser. Encrypted data looks like random, meaningless characters. Even if someone intercepts the communication, they won't be able to understand it. But this raises an important question. If the browser and the server have never met before, how do they both know how to encrypt and decrypt the same data? Let's find out. For encryption to work, both the browser and the server need the same secret key, but they've never shared one before. So how can they safely create the same secret key? And more importantly, how can they do it without sending that key across the internet, where an attacker could simply steal it? This is exactly the problem that SSL/TLS solves. It securely creates a shared secret through a process called the TLS handshake. But before we understand the handshake, there's one important concept we need to learn first. To understand the TLS handshake, we first need to understand public key cryptography. Every secure website owns two cryptographic keys, a public key and a private key. The public key can be shared with anyone. In fact, your browser receives it whenever you connect to a secure website. The private key is different. It always stays on the server and is never shared with anyone. A simple way to understand this is with a locked box. Imagine the public key is a special lock. Anyone can use this lock to lock the box. Once it's locked, the box can safely travel across the internet. But only the matching private key can unlock it. Even if an attacker intercepts the locked box, they still can't open it because they don't have the private key. This unique pair of keys makes secure communication over HTTPS possible. Now that we understand public and private keys, we're finally ready to see how the TLS handshake works. Let's see how a browser and a server establish a secure connection. This process is called the TLS handshake. The browser begins by sending a client hello message. This message includes the TLS versions it supports, the encryption algorithms it can use, and a random value that will later help generate the session key. The server responds with a server hello. Along with it, the server sends its SSL/TLS certificate. You can think of this certificate as the server's digital identity card. It contains the server's public key, the website's domain name, information about the certificate authority that issued it, and its expiration date. Before trusting the server, the browser carefully checks this certificate. The browser verifies three important things. First, was the certificate issued by a trusted certificate authority? Second, does the domain name in the certificate match the website you're visiting? And third, is the certificate still valid and not expired? If any of these checks fail, your browser displays a security warning. There's something interesting happening here. Public key encryption is only used during the TLS handshake. After that, both the browser and the server switch to symmetric encryption. Why? Because symmetric encryption is much faster. Encrypting every message with public key cryptography would be far too slow. Instead, once both sides have the shared session key, they use it to encrypt and decrypt all future communication efficiently. This gives us both security and speed. And that's how HTTPS keeps your data secure every time you visit a website. The next time you see the padlock icon in your browser, you'll know exactly what's happening behind the scenes. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and share it with someone who wants to learn how the internet really works. And don't forget to subscribe to ByLearn for more simple and practical explanations of technology. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.